Hey everyone, this is Happy Wheels Cars and Stuff, and today we're going to be installing the Velossa Big Mouth into my Fiesta ST. Tools you're going to need for this are a Phillips head and flat tip screwdrivers, a ratchet, 6-inch to 8-inch extension, socket U-joint, pliers, a multi-tool, if you don't have a multi-tool, a knife and file, measuring tape or a ruler, and scissors. Specifically for removing the bumper, you're going to need an 8mm socket, 7mm socket, and a T20 Torx bit. For the Big Mouth bolt install, you're going to need a 5mm or a 3/16-inch Allen key and a 10mm wrench. I recommend using a ratchet wrench, and you'll see why later in the video. Now let's get started by raising the front of the vehicle with a jack or ramps. Make sure to secure the vehicle with jack stands and also chocks. Because of time constraints, I wasn't able to film the bumper removal for this video, but you'll be using your flat tip and Phillips head screwdrivers, 7mm and 8mm sockets, and T20 Torx bit to remove bolts and pop clips from the following locations: 2 Phillips head screws and 1 Phillips head pop clip on the top of each of the headlights. After the pop clips are taken out, remove the headlight cable. Once the cable is removed, pull the headlight to the rear of the car and remove the headlight. 2 Phillips head pop clips on the top of the bumper liner, 2 T20 Torx screws, 1 7mm bolt, and a pop clip in each of the fender wells. 5 7mm bolts under the bumper which hold the splash shield in place, and 3 8mm bolts on each side holding the fender to the bumper. After these are removed, be sure to remove the cables to your fog lights before pulling off the bumper. If you want a more visual description of the bumper removal, I'll put a link to Mishimoto's bumper removal and reinstall video in the description below. Once the bumper is removed, remove the 6 pop clips holding the radiator shroud in place, as well as the thermometer electrical connection. Once you have the shroud taken off, make the cutting points as shown. You're going to want to cut an arch from the second point to the third point. When making the cut from the fourth point to the first point, you want to cut through the hump that is next to the fourth point. You start your cuts using your knife, and then once you have enough of a cut, you use the scissors to finish the rest of the way. If you find or figure out a better way of cutting this opening, feel free to leave the method in the comments below. Once you have your opening, take your file or sander and smooth out the edges. When you're finished smoothing out the edges of the shroud opening, insert the big mouth as shown. Once you've fitted the big mouth into the shroud, reinstall both pieces as a whole. Make sure that the big mouth's smaller opening is pushed as far into the intake port as possible. Now, when installing the supplied bolt and nut, you'll probably have to use 2 fingers to start threading the nut in the back, so use care when doing so to not drop the nut in the process. After you have the nut threaded onto the bolt, take your wrench, insert it through this opening to tighten the nut the rest of the way. Once the bolt is securely fastened, reinsert the 6 pop clips back into the shroud to secure the shroud itself. After the shroud and big mouth are secured, be sure to reinsert the thermometer electrical connection and then reinstall your bumper. Once the bumper is back on, take away the jack stands and chocks and lower your car. Now you can enjoy your more aggressive looking grille. As always, thank you everyone for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content coming to the channel soon.